So you've asked, how do I use more of my brain power? I've got some great news for you today, and today we are going to level up your use of your brain. First things first, let me debunk a myth for you. As it would turn out, you are in fact not using 10% of your brain, you are using 100% of your brain. A lot of people come to me and they say, I'd really like to use the other 90%. You are in fact way smarter than you think. You're using absolutely every neuron in there as much as possible. We think that it was research done in like the 1980s that said that about 10% of your brain was conscious, where Hollywood ran away with that and said, oh, we're only using 10%, we need to activate the other 90. No, you are in fact likely about 99.9% subconscious, but I've got news. That subconscious, you're using all of it. There's a reason for that. What we say in neuroscience is that every neuron is super opportunistic. In fact, the way I like to think of it is that every neuron, it's almost like it has FOMO. It has a fear of missing out. Every neuron wants to get as much oxygen, as much glucose, as much glycogen as it possibly can. It wants to be involved in as many neural networks as it can. What that means is that all of your brain is constantly as active as it can be. In fact, you are using so much of your brain that if I plugged a 40-watt bulb into the top of your head, it would light up all day, every day, and it would be even more incandescent at night. Your brain is not only 100% in use, it is in use 24 hours a day. Contrary to popular belief, your brain doesn't shut off when you go to sleep. It continues to act, and in fact, it levels up while you're sleeping. This is another reason, of course, why neuroscientists will constantly tell you to get more sleep. Sleep is critical for bringing even more brain power to your life. Okay, we could not talk about how to level up your brain power, use more of your brain power, if I didn't tackle what the things are that are really detracting from your brain power. Let's start with this. Great new research shows that one of the #1 things that's really distracting you and not letting you use your full brain is, unfortunately, your mobile device. Your cell phone is, like always, sharing a part of your brain. Your subconscious is effectively saying, we need to listen to it because it might at some point need us. And so, because of that, your mobile device is really a distracting thing that is decreasing your ability to focus, to concentrate, and to use your maximum brain power. The next thing that research shows is really hurting your brain power. It's a propensity to multitask. As it would turn out, multitasking is a myth. It's a brain-based myth. It doesn't actually exist. Multitasking is in fact what we call code switching. And the reason that when we try to multitask, we code switch is because our brain is not a simultaneous processor. Our brain is a serial processor. It only does one thing at a time. Because of that, when we try to multitask, we actually increase our stress response, we decrease our productivity, and we increase how frustrated we are with the job that we're doing. So another thing that is hurting your brain power, not helping you at all, is the temptation or propensity to multitask. Here's another thing that's probably hurting your brain power, and that's poor nutrition. You can imagine that if you are asking your brain to operate at maximum, you've got to feed it the right foods. Now, the brain, as it would turn out, prefers to burn fat first, protein second, and carbohydrates a distant third. So, if you want to level up your brain power, use more of it to your greater advantage, definitely make sure that you are eating the right foods, that you are having a good, whole nutritional meals, and that you have enough energy to keep going. It's not just food that you should be making sure to pay attention to. Also, I want to make sure that you're drinking enough water. As it would turn out, by the time you feel dehydrated, you're actually dehydrated at the cellular level. But before the cells give up any water at all, your brain has given up almost 2 liters of water. There's no way we can ask your brain to be its most powerful self if we don't have enough water in it in the first place. Another thing probably getting in the way of you using your maximum brain power is distractions. Distractions at work, distractions in the form of mobile phones, distractions in the form of noise, distractions in the form of the people that you work with. One of the things we know is that if you want to use your maximum brain power, you're going to have to focus and concentrate, and the best way to do that is to set boundaries, physically and figuratively. What I mean by that is, if you want to get something done and you want to use your max brain power, make sure that you at least set some time aside every day to actually work on your own. Time when other people can't come and distract you, your phone isn't about to go off, you can't hear ambulances or dog barking or other things happening, that you actually have just full unrequited time to focus and use all of your brain power. Next, if you want to use your maximum brain power, I've got news. One of the things your brain craves, whether you're aware of it or not, is physical movement. What we often say is that movement is like magic to your brain. In fact, physical movement activates neural networks that jog your memory, that get learning networks active, that allow your wisdom and knowledge and memory networks all integrated. It's so much easier to assimilate new information. It's so much easier to remember old information if you are physically active. So I often say, when the going gets rough, the rough get moving. And what I mean by that is, if you are in a crossroads or you're feeling like you don't have enough brain power, take a 15-minute walk. And what you'll notice is just that little bit of energy, just that little bit of movement will actually activate neural networks that are critical for leveling up your brain power. Finally, if you really want to level up your brain, use maximum amount of brain power, one of the best things you can do for yourself, have a passion and work on it. The idea here is that what you are passionate about is going to be so much easier to work on, to stick with, to enter into a flow state about. And so if you don't have a passion, find one. And whenever you are doing something where you really want to feel your full brain power, make sure that that thing is something you're passionate about. And what you'll find is that your brain really activates when you love what you're doing. Thank you for watching today. Tell us in the comments below, what do you think is detracting from your brain power? What are the things that are detracting? What are the things that are distracting? We'd love to know. Thanks for watching.